All right, we're going to talk about how we're going to research for our breakout room. So I chose the country of Senegal. So you can see I put my continent here, Africa, and Senegal here. And we've got to describe the country. We've got to list the features. So let's start with listing the features. So I'm going to type in physical features in Senegal and see what comes up. So when you look in here, it talks about low and rolling plains. It has a tropical rainforest and mangrove stands. So I'm going to put all of that information in my context. Then I'm going to come down here and see where it talks about major landforms and see what comes up. So here it talks about this Cape Verde. I'm going to add that to my list. There's some plateaus. Let's see. There's some mountains there. So this is a pretty good site, so I may go take a look and see what I can find here. So you've got the Senegal River, the Atlantic Ocean, this Cape Verde, or as it's listed here, this Cape Verde Peninsula. All of these are things that I can list in my features. You've got the Gambia River, the Casamance, and then if I look in this picture, I can see these different reserve areas here. I can see there's this Goree Island over here. So all of these things I'm going to type into my list of features. All right, so you can see I've listed all of the features, the physical features found in Senegal. Some of them are specific and some of them are not so specific, because then I can always come in here. Instead of putting physical features, I could put mountains and see if there's any mountains in Senegal and see what comes up for that. Or I could choose, since I learned about the mangrove stands, I could come in and choose mangroves and see what specific mangroves come up as being located in Senegal. All right, so that's how you're going to come up with your list of features. Now, you only have to choose 5 of them, but I recommend having more than 5 in your initial research. Now we want to talk about Senegal as a country. So the best way to find information about Senegal that relates to us is to choose Senegal for Kids. So when I choose Senegal for Kids, that's going to bring me to sites like this Britannica, this Easy Science Facts for Kids. You've got this Kittle. You've got Ducksters. So I'm going to check all of those sites out. And then between those sites, I will choose some things that I think are important for us to know about Senegal after I have viewed those sites. All right, so after I've taken a look at all of these sites, I actually used 4 sites. I was able to come up with this good little paragraph here. Senegal is on the west coast of Africa. It is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean, Mauritania, Mali, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. And so, most of its land in the north is flat and low with some small plateaus in the west. It's hot most of the year. The south gets more rain than the north. The rainy season is May to November. The land consists of grassland and scattered trees. The Casamance region has dense forests, and the southern coast has mangrove trees. Okay, so notice here I didn't need to tell you how long anything was or how high anything. I just want to give you an overview of their geography. Okay, now I've supplied you with a couple of different maps that you can use. Okay, so now all right, next we're going to move into our specific physical features. So of course that means you come up to the list that you collected, and I have a lot in here. So since I'm doing Senegal, I'm going to try to look up the Senegal River. So I came over here and I typed in Senegal River, and I am on Britannica, which is a good site to have. So let's talk about some of the things that we should consider. So I've put it here in the descriptor. So we do want a basic description of whatever your physical feature is. So what is it? It's a river. It's in Western Africa. And it's about 1,000 miles long. That's about it, guys. The rest of the stuff that's here is not stuff that we really need to know about or really understand. So let's just keep it to the parts that our audience is really going to learn something about and possibly remember. Okay, so location, when we talk about description, location, so in that particular statement right here where I said it's a river in West Africa and it's about 1,000 miles long, that pretty much took both of those. As you scroll through and you look through the things here, it does give you some physical features. But when you start looking at some of this stuff, we don't really, we're not geologists or geographers in the sense that we understand all of the things that are talking about here. So, you can skim this. And if you find something that you find is interesting for us, go ahead and teach us about it. See, like right here, it talks about floods come in early September. And they're through mid-October, they're coming into this other town. It says during the flood season, the water level rises 12 feet. So they do have a flood season. That, I think, is something that we might want to know about the Senegal River. Okay. And then we scroll down some more, and we're continuing to look at some of the stuff that it has about it. And there's not really much that we want to tell our audience. Now, maybe when you come into this climate section, this right here, they get 80 inches of rain every year, usually from late March to early November. I would probably put this there and then let them know that they do have a flood season with this. Okay. The temperatures, you could if you wanted to, but you don't necessarily have to. It is a hot area. We know it's near the equator. You could tell us that if you wanted to. Now it starts to talk a little bit about like some of the plants or animal life on the river. Maybe that's important. I am definitely going to tell you about the Ikea trees and probably put a picture of one, because that's a type of tree that you're going to typically see in the African savanna area. So I do want you to at least have an idea what that looks like. And then scrolling down, here it talks about some of the fish and the birds. Don't necessarily have to know that. It does talk about the people and the economy. Again, I'm skimming through to see, is there something that my audience might need to know? So because it is an area of floods, they do have a variety of crops. And look right here, I could put that in one sentence, that they grow things like millet, rice, and vegetables because of the amount of rain that they have. They also have good pastures for their livestock. That's about all I need to tell you. I don't need to continue on. I can continue looking. I see there's a section here on transportation. As I look through that to see, is there something that I need to tell you about transportation? And they use this for travel and trade, and that might be all that I tell you. So as I review that site, that's the kinds of things that I'm looking for. I haven't found anything that falls into this activity tourism, so I may want to go ask that. Tourism on Lake Senegal River. Okay, type in and see what types of things come up. Senegal River Region Tour Guide. So it's going to show you some things that you can do and see. So maybe click here and see what are some of the things that you can do and see on the river. And this is going to come up and tell you about the different things that you can do or see. And I'll scroll through these and see if there's anything that I find interesting that I want to tell my reader about. You can also put things to do on the Senegal River and see what comes up under that option. So again, that travel guide came up. Here's things to do in Senegal. So make sure that you're putting it with the river. I can see right here you have a river cruise. All right. So those are the things that we're looking for. Try to think about some of the topics that we've given you as you are doing your research. Then create your paragraphs so that you can use those paragraphs right in your breakout room. All right, so that was a model for one of your physical features. You are now going to rewind and repeat and do that 4 more times so that you can find 5 different areas that you can teach us about in your breakout room.